Hello, and welcome to episode 186 of the Casual Tryhard Podcast. I'm Brian,
And I'm James.
and today we're having some people bring some family heirlooms to us. We're going on the Magic Antiques Roadshow and talking about some old cards that have gotten new life on Arena.
Maybe.
Maybe a new life.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. To be determined.
So, to be determined. So, we're still working on getting together mailbag questions. So if you have any questions that you want to ask us, hit us up on social media. All of our links are in the description below. So Discord, Facebook, Twitter, we're on there. You can hit us up.
Yeah, they're still trickling in, so we're still taking them.
Yeah.
Like Brian said, if you got any questions that you got a desire for an answer, whether they're Magic related or not, send them in, and we'll do our best to answer them. There's a couple different ways you can support the show also, if you choose to do so. It definitely helps us out. The first is our TCG Player affiliate link, tcg.casualtryhardmtg.com. Head on over there when you're looking to make your Magic purchases, and when you check out, we'll automatically get a cut to help keep the show going. Like I said, we really appreciate it if you could, at least do that for us. The other way you can help us out is directly through Patreon, patreon.com/casualtryhardmtg. Patrons get access to our pre-show, which is about an hour of us every week talking about who knows what. Patrons also get access to our show notes, and you get put on my mailing list for when I send stuff out, which reminds me that I still have to do that. Should be towards the end of this month, I'll be sending that out. So if you want to get put on the list, patreon.com/casualtryhardmtg. Chip a couple bucks in, shoot me your address, and I'll add you to my list. We covered the mailbag stuff. We're going to give our tournament one more shot. We didn't have a whole lot of interest last time, so we weren't sure if we were going to do it again, but we figure, why not? It's our show. We'll do it
one more time.
It's going to be Peasant Brawl, Saturday, August 27th at 8 p.m. East Coast time. So commons and uncommons. Are we doing standard or historic?
I think just standard's fine.
Just standard?
I think I put together a standard one, and it felt pretty reasonable to just be constrained to standard. No, it was 3 colors, but still.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, standard's pretty big right now.
It is, yep. So standard legality, just commons and uncommons, singleton obviously for brawl, and rounds will be best of 1 because there's no way to do sideboarding or best of 3 or whatever. So just best of 1. Normal brawl rules. Saturday, August 27th, 8 p.m.
Get in there.
Yep. So like Brian said, we got some ancient relics to talk about this week. Cards that
got the dust blown off of them.
Yep. Cards that haven't ever been on Arena before were added. We got 2 anthologies that somehow we neglected to cover so far. So tonight we're going to talk about them.
We'll talk about them now. Yeah, we knew they were there. We had bangers of shows already prepared.
That's right.
So we had to get those out of the way.
Yep.
So they were both 20 cards?
I think so. Yeah.
So we have the one for Explorer and the one that was more historic focused.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a thing that this is maybe just me, that I always feel like when they do these, they have specific decks they're trying to make good.
Something they had in mind, yeah.
I know that yes, that's how it's gonna work, but it always feels bad when you just I don't know, to me, when it's just oh, you thought this deck was close and you wanted it to be good, so
yeah,
now it's good. And I know that only doing 20 cards, they can't just it's not like a regular set where back in the day you felt sometimes you felt like they were here's just some random stuff, figured out how it goes together.
Mm-hmm.
Right? These feel a lot more like the Shadows over Innistrad block.
Yeah.
Where they're hey, would you like a sweet pre-constructed zombies deck? I would think. So take all these rares and mythics that say zombie on them,
shuffle
put them together.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure good things will happen. And Jerry T's won me a Pro Tour, baby!
That's right.
Right? So it just feels weird because you can just kind of go through some of the cards and you go this goes in this deck, this goes in this deck.
Yeah.
And then there's other cards that you're like, who are you for and why are you here?
Yeah. It's also kind of weird because, like, this is supposed to be the format that turns into Pioneer, right? So we know what Pioneer looks like. And some of these things inch us to Pioneer, but, like, they're not what we needed to get there quickly.
So, like, on Magic Online, right? Like, they have Vintage, but they don't really have every single card ever printed in Magic.
Right.
Right? But they have all the cards that matter for Vintage. Right? So, like, for us to have Pioneer on Arena, we don't need every card printed in this legal in Pioneer. We just need the cards that see play in Pioneer.
Right.
And if, like, something gets printed in paper that, like, takes some, like, obscure, currently unplayable card in Pioneer and makes it, like, a tier 1 card, well, then we can put the card on the client.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
So,
I can't
like,
imagine it's hard to just, like, put a single card on the client if they wanted to.
I mean, they put, like, an entire set of cards that no one wanted to play. I mean, they put 40 cards with made-up mechanics on the client, like, every month.
Right.
Or, like, they go regular set with what effectively are kind of, like, made-up mechanics because a lot of times they're new. And then they're like, here's 40 cards that don't work in paper.
Right.
And they do that every set. So, like, I know they wouldn't do it, right? But, like, all they needed to do was to be like, all right, get out the list of, like, go to, like, MTG Goldfish or MTG Top 8, and then be like, most played cards in Pioneer.
Right.
And just start adding cards.
Yeah, see what's missing.
Until, yeah, what is missing? I've got 20 slots. Let me throw in 20 cards off of the, like, what's missing, and then you'd functionally have Pioneer.
Right.
But the problem is then that Explorer Anthologies 2 doesn't have a whole lot that you need to put in it.
Burning that sweet digital reprint equity.
God. Yes, exactly. Oh, we can't put all the cards in because then no one will want to buy Explorer Anthologies 2.
Right.
And it's like, no, just put the cards on it that people want and separate them from their wild cards.
Yeah.
But, so, with that said, where, like, it's very much like they had, like, a list of, like, 4 decks they wanted to make better.
Well, I mean, maybe there's definitely cards in here that do not slot into any deck.
I think there are 4 cards that they were like 4 or 5 cards that they were like, we want to make this particular archetype better.
Yeah.
Like, the only reason they're here. Then there are cards that are like, all right, we have the 6 cards we actually want to put in this anthologies, but I need 20 cards.
So here's Tainted Remedy.
That's exactly the card I was going to say. Here's Tainted Remedy.
Yep.
Why?
Why not?
Because I needed to fill it out.
Yep.
Like, the card file only had 6 cards in it, so I needed to fill it out. All right, so we're just gonna work through here. First card was Favorite Hoplite. So if you're a boomer, you remember, like, Ordeal of Thassa, Blue White.
Yep.
Ordeal of Heliod, like, Blue White Heroic.
Yep.
And this was, like, the uncommon, like, 1-drop for that. It's like, it's basically kind of like 10th Legion, 10th District Legionnaire.
Yep.
Where when you target, it gets a +1/+1 counter, and this one prevents the damage to it after it's been targeted. Like, this is here because someone decided that the Clever Lumimancer deck, killing you on turn 4 like 30% of the time wasn't high enough.
Well, what's weird though is when, I mean, it's kind of weird to talk about these in this order because, like, some of them go together. Like, down further on the list is Battlewise Hoplite. And like you alluded to, the heroic deck used to be blue-white. The current deck in Pioneer is red-white. But
And an Explorer is red white.
yeah, but instead of giving us Monastery Mentor or whatever, or Monastery Swift Spear, like to get us closer to that archetype, they gave us Battlewise Hoplite instead to
Which
push us away from that archetype.
I have played a lot of Explorer since this has come out.
Mhm.
I have seen 0 Battlewise Hoplites resolved.
Yeah.
Like, just not a card that anyone's playing.
Right.
Next up is my boy,
That's right. My boy.
who I am today,
That's right. You are.
Rally the Ancestors.
Yep.
So we've like talked about on and off like a black white zombies deck
Mhm.
that was like I had like called it Rally Zombies,
Mhm.
but didn't have Rally. Was playing Return to the Ranks.
Mhm.
What it is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Return to the Ranks.
So Rally Ancestors is like a card that I've played some
Mhm.
in that deck on Arena.
Yep. I played that deck a little bit.
I played against like some Abzan, like Sacrifice, Self Mill, like just general shenanigans deck.
Mhm.
That was playing Rally the Ancestors as like just kind of like oh yeah, if I draw this, I'm gonna put 12 creatures onto the battlefield and like, get a bunch of triggers and kill you.
Yeah.
But I think the problem with I think the card is fine, and I think like it has a chance to do interesting things. I haven't seen it played in like a week, but as I tweeted at Saffron Olive, he was like, "What are your like digital magic conspiracies?" And I was like, "That there's like a pairings algorithm
Yeah.
that like if I'm playing against mono red constantly, and then I put like a bunch of pro red cards in my deck, I never see mono red again."
Yeah.
Right? Like when I was playing Rally in a deck that was, perhaps less good or had less powerful cards in it, I played against other Rally decks with some regularity.
Mhm.
And I've been playing a different deck that has a bunch of busted cards in it, and I haven't really seen a Rally deck since.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we know that there's a pairings algorithm.
Yeah.
They've said that there
Yeah,
is. Now I don't know like what the extent is, but
Yeah, what the what goes into that pairings algorithm.
right.
But like the thing with Rally is I think it's good, but I think the deck that it makes you play is a sweet deck from 2017.
Yeah. Can't really compete with today.
Yeah, like just like on a if you laid all the cards out,
Mhm.
the cards that are like objectively powerful in the black white zombies deck, there are significantly less of them.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's a synergy deck that doesn't really have like a great engine
You're playing
like Cat
Lazartech
Oven.
Reaver.
Yes, you play happily.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my god. You're like, oh, I played Priest of Forgotten Gods into Lassatap Reaver.
Yeah.
Got him. Like, I'll play that, sack it, and then I'll play another one. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just you're playing very different Magic
Mhm.
than everyone else.
Yeah.
Now, have I attacked someone, them flashed in a Wandering Emperor, and with the exiled trigger on the stack, have I instant speed rallied and killed them?
Mhm.
Oh, I have. It was great. Did I instant speed rally to kill someone in response to a Settle the Wreckage? Uh-huh.
Nice.
So good. So good. I was like, I'm going to attack, and if they settle me, I just
gonna
rally
kill
and kill them.
Yep.
And they said, I was like, sweet, this resolves and you die.
Yep.
So, it does neat things, but I think the deck it forces you to play, right? Like, it's a deck that you need to, right? Like, it needs a bunch of parts. It's the technical term is fiddly.
Fiddly, yep. Now,
you
I don't
need a
know
bunch-
that the rally deck is zombies, though. Like, I know that's what we were playing because we
Mhm.
had, the pieces were closer for that than, other versions of rally. But I don't, I haven't tried to brew a new version of rally either. I've only tried to slot this into that zombie deck.
Like, I said I played against like an Abzan list that had Fiend Artisan.
Mhm.
I almost said I was called it Combat Celebrant again, but it's not. It's
Cruel Celebrant.
Cruel Celebrant. Thank
Yeah.
you. And a couple like ways to like self mill,
Mhm.
where you're like kind of getting value with creatures coming in and out.
Yeah.
Where like Fiend Artisan is paying you for having the cards in your graveyard before you rally.
Right.
And is doing stuff, and then when you rally, you're getting paid by having all these creatures are like it had Woe Strider.
Mhm.
So like you like Woe Strider, bring them all back, and then you sack everything for free and you kill them kind of deal.
Was it green just for Fiend Artisan?
I think I'm trying to remember what else was in the deck. Like the fact that they didn't give us like Satyr Wayfinder with Rally the Ancestors is just like an insult.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of thinking there might be a Mardu version.
Mm-hmm. There could be.
Because then you get access to a Blood Artist with Judith.
Mm-hmm.
And you also get the 1-drop red guy that dies and leaves a body.
Oh, yeah. For more of the Spark.
Yeah, the 1/1 first striker.
Yeah, and you get Unlucky Witness.
Yep.
That draws you 2 cards. I mean, there could be something there.
Yep.
But like I feel like it's one of those things that like if you want a fiddly deck that's like doing nickel and dimey stuff,
mm-hmm.
you play Red Black Sack.
Yeah.
That deck is just that deck's just kind of proven to be like a thing for a long time.
Right.
And then like something I've talked about before is like it's super hard to play a graveyard centric deck, especially one that needs like a critical mass of cards. Like even Greasefang is hard sometimes,
mm-hmm.
right? When you can just like, oh, end of your turn, I'm going to put in the Parhelion and then on turn 3 have it, right? But like even that sometimes you get tagged by random graveyard hate.
Yeah.
Where like with Rally, you're like, I need a giant graveyard, and your opponent's just like, well, I free roll main deck graveyard hate in Graveyard Trespasser or Cemetery Trespasser, whatever it is.
Graveyard Trespasser, yeah.
Graveyard Trespasser.
Or Hearse.
And
like, there's decks that play main deck Hearse.
And then like post board, there's Hearses and Go Blanks.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, I can't realistically get a graveyard of 10 or 15 cards to rally back in like one big shot.
Because you're losing 2 or 3 every turn.
Yeah, like you just can't keep up.
Yep.
So, I think card is good, but Modern Magic does not support it.
Mwah, mwah.
Mwah, mwah.
Then
Next
we got
one.
Scissors.
Scissors.
Yep, and Soul Artifact. We kind of had an artifact deck on Arena, in Historic at least, like the Affinity deck. But
they also had like the Tempered Steel deck as well before that.
Yeah, I think the Tempered Steel deck and the Affinity deck like ended up being the same thing though. Or close to. The Scissors deck is a little bit different, where you're just looking to put this enchantment on something with evasion and kill your opponent very quickly. Ornithopter, Darksteel Citadel, which is on this list later.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned Ginger Brute. That's a good one to put some Scissors on.
Ginger Brute. And then like, so this is like the deck that this goes in is again kind of one of the kind of decks that epitomizes Modern Magic, which is it's very much like I'm going to play like 4 cards, and if you don't have an answer for 3 of them, you are going to die.
Yep.
Or like, oh hey, if any one of these threats stick, you lose.
That's kind of an interesting point that I've noticed lately and didn't really equate it to what's actually happening. And I don't think that's what you were trying to say here. But I've noticed like a lot of the decks only play like 4 cards. And either the game ends or not. I've noticed it like trying to get my like my daily rewards or whatever, where
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to play like 20 blue or black cards or whatever, and it takes forever because games don't last that long. Like
Yeah,
there's only half a dozen spells cast the entire game.
which is like I think we've talked about. Like you are punished way more for flood or screw,
Mhm.
right? Because if you flood, then your opponent got free reign, and you're so far behind it doesn't matter when you start drawing spells.
Right.
And if you screw, like if you miss your third land drop and your opponent played like a 3-drop or a 2 and a 1,
Yeah.
again you are so far behind. Like
It doesn't matter.
unless you have some wild catch up mechanism, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because like so this blue white deck oftentimes is like Ginger Brute into like Patchwork Automaton into uh like then they're like, okay, Ornithopter, Chica's Reign of Truth, target my Ginger Brute, give it unblock, make it so it's not blockable unless something has haste.
Yeah.
And you take like 7.
Yep.
And then the next turn, like they do it again, and then they put like an Insult Artifact on the Ornithopter, and they cast like another like garbage artifact to make the Patchwork Automaton a 3/3, and you're just like,
Dead.
oh, I didn't have
Yeah.
I didn't have a removal spell for this Ginger Brute, so I guess I lost this game.
Mm-hmm.
Or they played that like, or like, oh, their Patchwork Automaton is a 4/4, and I'm playing red.
Right.
And by the time I got to 4 mana, my Lightning Strike doesn't do anything.
Right.
Neat. So like you're just very much like, it's very like Magic is a lot of nut draws now.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of decks set up to like, I'm gonna win on my nut draw, and if I don't completely and totally just like nut draw you and win that way, there's usually enough value baked into the cards just on accident.
Yeah.
Right, because you're like, oh, I'll kill your creature in response to you targeting it with Pachika's Reign of Truth. It's like, okay, cool. Next turn I'll have a 6/6 because this flips over into a 6/6.
Right.
Oh, so it's a 2-mana double pump spell that turns into a 6/6. All right, cool. I can't beat the third card you got out of this.
Yeah.
2-drop.
Yep.
Suck. Okay, thanks. Right, or like it also plays, oh gosh, I can't think of what it's called. The one on the white 1/1 that like looks at the top 4 cards for
the blacksmith,
artifact.
Ingenious Blacksmith.
Yes. And then gets bigger when you cast artifacts.
Yep.
Like we had this card before. It was Glintinous Crane.
Yep.
And it was always just a 1/3.
Yep.
And it also never hit an artifact. There were multiple times at FNM I would cast it, look at like the top 4 cards of my library, put them on the bottom, and audibly say out loud to the Glintinous Crane, I built my deck so you'd be good. And you're not. But like, it's like, okay, it's card advantage. Mm-hmm. And it also grows into like an killable threat. Mm-hmm. Neat, thanks. Great design, guys.
Yep.
So, but Insult Artifact is very much like, it only has one home, and it's that deck. And
Right.
like you said, they were like, what's the best thing to put Insult Artifact on? Darksteel Citadel. On it. Here you go. Here's your Darksteel Citadel.
Yeah.
Later in the set. Next up, they decided to make the most annoying deck in the format
More annoying.
more annoying.
Yeah.
And that most annoying deck is Mono Blue Spirits.
Yep. They gave us Mausoleum Wanderer. I think a more interesting gift would have been Spell Queller because it like makes the deck more interesting to play with and against. Pushes you away from Mono Blue, makes you play Azorius. But
I mean, it does that, and like you said, it makes it so like the games may play out similarly, where you just are not allowed to ever resolve a spell, but like there's more interesting things happening on 3 mana.
yeah, There's questions
Like, oh, do I?
instead of
Yeah, do I?
no questions.
Yeah, right. And like, I didn't see it until uh started playing against this deck. Like, I don't think Geistlight Snare is okay,
No.
right? Like, it used to be when you played against this deck, right? That you would go like, okay, if they go like flash one drop or one drop into Curious Obsession on turn 2, shields were down.
Mm-hmm.
Now you just get like a 1 mana leak.
Right.
Like, I just will like play and go like, oh, they totally have Geistlight Snare. Like, they wouldn't have played Curious Obsession without the Geistlight Snare.
Yeah.
That combined with like Slip Out the Back, like you just get in this situation where you're like, oh yeah, I can never answer this thing.
Yeah.
Right. So it comes down to like, were they on the play? Mm-hmm. Cool. So like, I guess I just couldn't answer this thing and got snowballed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It takes a while, but you get it like, you're just like, I'm gonna tap 3 mana and put my card in the graveyard, and they're like, thanks.
Yep.
And you're like, I'm gonna tap 4 mana. Like, yeah, put it in the graveyard. Cool. So like, in my sideboard, well, in my main deck of the Elementals deck I've been playing, and I put on the Discord, I played 2 main deck Chandra Awaken the Frodo.
Mm-hmm. Just as something you can do that's not counterable.
Because it says, yeah, it can't be countered. And then my sideboard has 3 Fries.
Yeah.
Which can't be countered, deal 5. And it has other uses, right? Like, I bring it in against blue-white control.
Yep, tags Teferi.
Teferi, Wandering Emperor,
yep.
Narset, like, just gets everything that's kind of annoying. But, like, Mausoleum Wanderer, like, I've lost games to, like, casting something and my opponent flashes in a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, now I can't pay the tax because now this thing's a 2-1.
Yep.
Or a 2-2. So, like, there are definitely people that enjoy that style of deck, but I am not a person who enjoys playing with or against that style of deck.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it just grates on my nerves. Like, this is not an enjoyable play pattern.
Right.
Like, I don't know why like I'm having to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like, it's like, do I have to like put shifties in my sideboard? Just hit him with the shifting Ceratops? How you like me now, Mono Blue?
I mean, you could.
Yeah. How many things can I put in my deck that say can't be countered on them?
4
Let's
turn
just
clock.
build a deck.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. It's like, hit you for 5.
Yeah, they can't tap
Or
it
like-
with their Tappy Boy either.
Yeah. Or like, has reach, go.
Yeah.
Like, attack me. I got a green mana. Go for it.
Yep.
So yeah, like, it did, like, the deck kind of before played like some pretty like mopey 1-drops.
Mm-hmm.
And like, Mausoleum Wanderer made it so they could card commit to like, we are spirits.
Right.
So like, it did like kind of like give the deck a better identity.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's just not a fun deck
In general.
to like. Yeah, like, it's like when you play against Delver, right? You're playing against Daze and Force,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, this deck probably has what, 12 to 16 counters in it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh,
This
none
is
of my
miserable.
spells resolve. And it's just like, oh, well, that's not fun.
I mean, every one of them is more mana efficient than anything I'm doing.
Exactly. Like, I have a deck that I would like to resolve a 4-drop. And it's like, me tapping 4 mana right now just loses me the game.
Yep. Well, I
But
mean,
me
not
also-
casting your spells also loses you the
Yeah.
game, so.
Yeah, me not tapping this 4 mana loses me the game.
Yep.
But, like, this deck also has the thing, I'm sure people who've played against it know this, right? A lot of times, like, if any 4-drop resolves, they just lose the game on the spot.
Mm-hmm. For
It's just
sure.
like, oh, you didn't have the counterspell? You could never beat any card that resolves.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like a really, like, it's a deck that, like, I'd get frustrated with because, like, I'd be like, oh, I didn't have the counter, I guess I lose now.
Yep.
Like, all my agency's gone because you resolved a 4-drop. You resolved Kalidas, Trader of Get. I can never beat this card.
Yeah.
I
Speaking of my
Guess
boy.
I'm done.
Next on the list, Kalidas Trader got.
Yeah.
this is like probably the premier card for any sort of mid-range archetype on Arena right now.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously it goes into red black. We talked about red black a bit last week, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen it anywhere else outside of red black?
I think I've seen it in like mono black or Grixis not zombies, vampires.
Okay, that makes sense too.
Right. I've seen it like as a thing that Sorin can put into play.
Yeah.
Or just like a vampire that you like get to eventually. Like you turn your Dusk Legion Zealot into like 2+1/+1 counters.
Yep. Which is probably also 2 life.
Yeah. Or you sack the Dusk Legion Zealot to your Sorin, kill one of their things and get a zombie out of it. So like it went there, but its main home is red black.
Yeah, and like red black is kind of the de facto mid range deck right now. So
yeah, so it makes sense. Though like Kalitas does have a wall of text, but like there are definitely times where like my opponent resolves Kalitas and I'm just like, yeah, that card doesn't matter. Right, and like that was not the case when he was printed in Kaladesh. Like not Kaladesh, gosh, in Oath.
Yep.
Like he kind of always mattered. But there are definitely times where I'm like, I'm gonna play like 4 mana Omnath and gain 4 life, and sure, attack with your Kalitas. Go ahead. Can you kill my Omnath?
Yeah.
No. All right. So your card does not matter. Eventually, I will kill you.
I mean, what's crazy if you think about it is like Kalitas was modern playable. Like
I know,
Kalitas
right?
is the reason that I built Jund in the first place.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah, and like now, like Kalitas is like laughable in like modern.
Right.
The next 2 we can go over super quick. Shadowborn Apostle, one of those you can play any number of these, and then you can sack 6 of them to get a demon and put it on the battlefield.
Yeah, is anybody doing this in Explorer or Pioneer?
Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, played a Shadowborn Apostle deck on Arena.
Okay.
Right after it came out. It was not good.
Right.
I mean, it was interesting. He played Mirror Box.
Which one is Mirror Box?
Legend Rule doesn't count, and you get +1/+1 for each creature that has the same name as another creature.
Okay.
So it was like Shadowborn, Mirror Box attacked you for 9 was like the curve.
Gotcha.
And then he had like the something of Ancestry archive where like you pick a creature type and it gets +1/+1.
Oh, okay.
And then you pay 3, tap it, and look at the top like 4, and you put like a creature with that type in your hand. So it was like human and just like would just be able to draw. But yeah, no one's doing this. Seriously, like I've not seen one at all.
Yeah.
In like a serious context. Tainted Remedy, why?
No idea. I don't even know what you do
don't...
with this card. Like it stops your opponent from gaining life.
Yeah, I is this like the sideboard juke for green white?
Maybe.
And then they just skyclave it and you look like a dope?
Yeah, that's true.
Like it's like, okay, I'm gonna play the stupid 1/1 with vigilance that makes a creature. Makes an angel if you have 27 life. Then I'm gonna play Giada. The next turn, I'm gonna attack you for 3 and play a 3/5. What is he called? Valkyrie.
Yeah.
And then you resolve your Tainted Remedy while you're taking like 5 in the air, and if I play another angel, it's huge.
Yeah.
Neat. Go ahead, play that card. Take your turn off. I'm still going to kill you. Yeah, I don't. The only thing I can think is like weird sideboard card.
Yeah, really weird sideboard card.
Yeah, like are there spells that make your opponent gain life? I guess like if you had like target opponent gains like what is it? The weird Heliod card, like the white X.
Oh yeah.
Like gain like 2x life or twice X life. I don't know if that's just you or if you can like target your opponent. Like I don't know if you can do some wacky stuff, but yeah.
What about
No.
that angel? The
That angel.
3 white 2/6 double strike.
Yeah, like oh yeah, I guess that like it just wouldn't let them gain the life, so they would like take the damage. They wouldn't. Does it deal damage? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
But
either.
yeah, like that you could do. You could maybe do that.
No, I don't.
But
I
that
don't think
seems-
it deals damage. I think they gain that much life instead.
Okay, so like this would just make it deal damage.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
weird.
it's weird. Alicia who smiles at death.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is just a brawl card, right?
Probably, and I don't even know if it's a good brawl card. Like this was, if I remember correctly, it saw some play in Tiny Leaders, but that was
Yeah.
I don't even know that it's an actual commander card.
Yeah, like as I think we've talked about, there is someone or a small group of people that are in the Alicia who smiles at death Discord
Mhm.
that like this is all they ever wanted was to like play brawl with this.
Probably
But like I don't know how many people are in that Discord.
2 or 3.
Like 6?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they all built their Alicia decks and are direct challenging each other right now. Next up, Searing Blood?
Yeah. I mean that's I would call it a welcome inclusion, but I don't know that it's like setting the queues on fire.
I feel like I've been hit with a Searing Blood once.
Yeah.
But I don't really remember.
Yeah.
It's weird because, right, like 2 damage to a creature for red.
Doesn't kill anything anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't. Like, and the things that it does kill, like, you know, it kills a Risen Reef, but they already got their card.
Right.
It kills a Blood Tithe Harvester, but they got their
Blood token.
blood. Right? Like, it kills so little. Like, it's here for, like, Mono Red, but I don't feel like Mono Red wants this card.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like, Mono Red is, like, way more creature-based.
Yeah. And if they do want it, it's like a sideboard card. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone's happy to main deck Searing Blood.
Yeah, like, if like, Searing Blood versus, like, Bone Crusher Giant, like, I think you just take Bone Crusher Giant every time, right?
Yeah, every time. I would much
Right,
rather
like-
draw a 4/3 than deal 3 damage
Then-
to something.
Then 3 damage. Yeah, because, like, that 4/3 is going to deal 12 damage.
Yeah.
At some point. And also not get killed by your opponent's Searing Blood.
Right.
Next up is Team or Battle Rage. I feel like I've only seen this card one place.
I haven't seen it anywhere.
I got Battle Rage out of a game against the red-white heroic
Mhm.
deck. But I think that's only happened like I don't think I was like the only match, or maybe I played against it twice.
Yeah.
But I switched from best of 1 to best of 3
Mhm.
because the deck I was playing like needed the sideboard.
Yeah.
And when that happened, like the red white deck just went away.
Mhm.
Like very rarely see it. So I haven't seen it in a while. I haven't seen Team of Battle Rage in a while.
Yeah. This next one goes in the same deck, Titan Strength.
Yeah, I've not seen anyone play it.
Really? They played Titan Strength in the Pioneer version, right?
I don't know. Like the red spell I've seen is like Ancestral Anger.
Yeah.
Since it just draws them a
Places
card as well.
itself, yeah.
So yeah, but I've not seen anyone play Titan Strength. Like I could 100% see it going in that deck,
Mhm.
but I've not seen it
Yeah.
personally.
And then we have Back to Nature. Destroy all
Why?
enchantments. I don't know. Maybe they're printing some really busted sagas in Dominaria.
Maybe. And if they're busted compared to the Kamigawa sagas, we're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a bad way, my friend.
Yeah.
In a bad way.
Yeah, I don't know why we have Back to Nature.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, it's either, like you said, it's either they have a bunch of sagas coming down or a bunch of enchantments coming down the pipeline
Mm-hmm.
that they're like, we might have gone too hard. I think Morrow did say that 2023 was like
Oh yeah,
the
there's
most
supposed to
like
be some set that's the most pushed thing ever. Or I don't remember what he said. He said something.
I mean, Bilbo's got to destroy the One Ring somehow.
Yep.
Um.
Ooh,
So
what do you think Mount Doom does? Do you think it makes crack zombies?
could it be like a super? Is it? Ooh, could it be like every time like you get like a zombie and you deal 3 damage, like a super Valakut?
Ooh, maybe. It spits out
Or
an
they-
orc.
Yeah, as I say, it
An
makes
orc
orcs.
and it
It makes
Valakut something.
Yeah, you make a 1/1 orc, and but you only deal 2 damage to something.
Yeah.
That's how they balance it.
Yep.
Um.
But it's
We
every
have
land.
Elvish. Yeah, every land doesn't matter. Just every land. Elvish Mystic.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm down for
Yeah,
Elvish
like-
Mystic.
It gives mono green a more consistent like start.
Mhm.
Like that deck desperately needs to go elf into 3-drop. Like
Right.
the deck should only really play like hard. Like it should be very few 2-drops.
Yeah, it should be just
Because
ones
like
and
it should
threes.
just mulligan till like 1-drop, 3-drop.
Yep.
Right. Like I guess it should play like Werewolf Pack Leader and some number of Scavenging Oozes.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then everything else should just be a sticky, undercosted green beater.
And then collect the company.
And then collect the company. Exactly. That's your deck. Like find the thing that has the biggest power,
Mhm.
that has the casting cost green, and that goes in your deck.
Right.
And when you're full up on those, the last 4 spots are collected companies in case you didn't kill them on turn 5.
Yep.
So with that deck building instruction, I give you Tireless Tracker.
Yeah, I mean, for a long time, it was one of the best 3-drops, right?
Again, another modern playable card.
Was 20-something dollars at one point. I don't know if
Yeah,
it still
so-
is.
Tireless Tracker for the uninitiated or the young.
Yep.
2 and a green for a 3/2, and we're gonna just shortcut it to landfall.
Mhm.
Make a clue.
Yep.
And then whenever you sack a clue,
Mhm.
You put a +1/+1 counter on Tireless Tracker.
Yep.
And a clue is an artifact that you pay to sack and draw a card.
It's a food that draws you a card instead of gains you 3 life.
Yeah, exactly. Right, and like that comparison, it was like, well, food's not going to be that strong. Like, if Tireless Tracker was put into a set now where they build around clues,
Right.
who? But so like I've seen this in like, just pour one out for our homies here. So I've seen Tireless Tracker in like mono green,
Mhm.
which I think is like a horrible mistake.
Yeah, I would not play this in mono green.
Right, like yes, 100% it lets you maybe like grind, but like that deck's not about grinding.
Right.
That deck's about making you dead. And like what's his name? Old Growth Troll incidentally grinds anyway.
Mhm.
So like you don't need another way to grind, I don't think. And same with Collected Company. And like it does not have the highest possible power you can play at 3 mana in a green deck.
Yeah.
And like spending 2 mana to get your clue or to get your card off your clue, like if you like the right way to play Tireless Tracker, what you play it on turn 4.
Right. So then you can make your land drop and get your clue.
Yeah, so they can't kill it in response, and then like you're gonna spend 2 mana on like turn 5 to like make it a 4/3.
Nope.
Your opponent's like playing a Gold Spanning Dragon, or like I've played against Glorybringer,
Mhm.
and your Tireless Tracker's just getting Glorybringered, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I took 4, my thing died, and I'm in a bad way.
Yeah, and like
I
with
should-
as powerful as everything is now, it's hard to find room to crack that clue. You're having to
Exactly.
answer or deploy a threat, and there's really not a whole lot of points in a game where you just have 2 mana floating around where you can draw a card.
Yeah, to go back for a second, I should mention that Elvis Mystic also is good in the Gruul aggro decks.
Yeah.
Which
are
you're just
basically
swapping.
the same thing, but
Yeah, you're swapping the biggest thing you can put in at green, green, green for the biggest thing you can put in for one red, green.
Right.
And you have Embercleave.
Yep.
For like, oops, you have blockers. Okay, I gotta get this done. The other place, and I feel so bad for these people. The other place I've seen Tireless Tracker is besides Siege Rhino.
Oh.
And like I've played against Abzan and it's just been clown shoes. I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, I know what you're doing, but like this just doesn't stack up with like modern Magic.
Yeah. Well, do you want to talk about Siege Rhino, or are we still going in order here?
I mean, we already talked about the fact that no one's playing Battle Wise.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we already talked about that.
Yeah, so we skipped him.
So yeah, Siege Rhino.
So these, like, Tireless Tracker and Siege Rhino
are relics.
Yeah. They are the antiques in this roadshow.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I can go get my Siege Rhinos out and we can talk about the provenance and how long they've been in my family.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been in my family since 2015.
Well, maybe I'll show you my Siege Rhinos that I got signed at the first GP I ever went to, and then promptly put in my binder because Standard rotated and I never played them.
Yeah, like, remember when they banned Birthing Pod because of Siege Rhino-esque creatures? And they were like, we can't have Birthing Pod because we can't ever print creatures that do stuff. And it was like, you're going to print creatures that do more stuff than Siege Rhino? And they were like, hold my beer. Yeah. I got you. I think we can do it. Uro. Omnath.
Yeah.
We're good. So like these went into like the like mid-range decks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like this is laughable for a mid-range deck. Like the only way I could see you playing like a Siege Rhino deck is if you could, I don't know, like blink it every turn, but even then, like it doesn't, I don't think it does enough.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like that's, so I'm going to keep going back to like 4 mana, like 4-color Omnath.
Mm-hmm.
But like even Questing Beast is kind of better than Siege Rhino.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's just 1 color.
Right.
But like 4-color Omnath can gain you 4 life every turn.
Right. Not just when it ETBs.
Yeah. Like, yes, it takes a while to get to like the Lightning Helix mode of Omnath.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like that takes some work. But sometimes you do and you kill 3 Planeswalkers.
Right.
For going like crack my fetch land, play a fetch land, crack my fetch land.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, and your opponent's just like, oh, I guess I'm dead now. Right? Like Siege Rhino, like that style of deck just doesn't work anymore with the amount of like innate card advantage built into cards now.
Yeah.
Right? Like we talk about like Bone Crusher Giant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's deal 2 damage to something, which admittedly doesn't get a lot of things. There's many things it used to get, right?
Right.
But like it's okay, kill something and then draw a 4/3 and just have a 4/3 chilling for later.
Yeah, I mean the difference though is like when we were talking about Searing Blood, like it doesn't feel great to waste a Searing Blood on a Blood Tithe Harvester.
Mm-hmm.
It feels awesome to waste your Stomp on a
Blood Tithe Harvester. Right, because you have your 3-drop all rolled up.
Yeah.
Which is bigger than Tireless Tracker. You have to sack 3 clues before it can block a Bone Crusher Giant and not trade.
Right.
But like, you know, Siege Rhino, like the stuff that we get at 4 mana now, like you could argue that even at 3 mana, Graveyard Trespasser.
Yep.
Right, that's a 2-for-1 that also is Graveyard Hate.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like it's not as big.
Yep.
So yeah, Siege Rhino can block it, but at the same time,
it has protection built in though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it's a 2-for-1 if you want to kill it.
Yep.
And Siege Rhino, like, in 2015, I do believe, right when this came out,
mm-hmm.
Siege Rhino, or 2014,
15. It was either 15 or 16. I think it was 15.
Okay. Siege Rhino was a 2-for-1.
Mm-hmm.
That Lightning Helix to your opponent was worth about a card.
Yep.
I think now that Lightning Helix is worth about half a card,
Probably.
if that. Right? Just for what everything else does. And it's just not enough value anymore.
Mhm.
So it just makes it so like it doesn't do enough.
Right.
And like, you know, those, if you're gonna play like red black, your mana's better in red black.
Mhm.
You get to play creature lands.
Yeah.
That like
Are
do
good.
more than yeah, are good. Right, and you're like, your mana's so good you can like play Invoke Despair.
Yeah.
And like red Chandra. Right, like, admittedly, Evoke Despair does not leave a 4/5 body on the battlefield, but sometimes it's just deal 6, draw 3 for 4 mana,
Which is fine.
which is which is fine. I was gonna say,
It's
which
fine.
is amazing. You know, like, it's okay. It's okay.
I mean, it's 2022. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, there's
But,
better
like,
things I could do with 5 mana.
Yeah, but like Tireless Tracker, Siege Rhino, well, it's 4 mana. It's 1 black.
Is it 4? I thought it was black.
It's 1 black. I'm almost positive. Maybe it is 5. I could be super wrong. We can check here. We'll go to the tape. You might be right. It might be 5.
Yeah, I think it's 5.
Uh,
I thought the whole cycle was like color.
You're right. It is 5. Never mind. I take it back. You have better things you can do with 5 mana. But yeah, like it just doesn't stack up.
Mm-hmm.
Slaughter games for reasons.
I mean, it can't be countered.
You can get the turn 4 and you can take Supreme Phantom out of your opponent's deck.
Yeah, I don't know what Slaughter Games is for. I mean, I have registered Slaughter Games like for a tournament, but again, that was 2016.
A long time
I
ago.
think.
Yeah.
There's any number of things that have this effect that are better now.
A lot of them cost like 1 less mana.
Like what,
Right,
Necromentia.
Necromentia, Lost Legacy.
Yep.
Unmoored Ego, though it's in blue.
Yeah.
But like it's 3. Like this effect now costs 3 mana.
Right.
So, you know, for a really long time, remember Lobotomy?
Mm-hmm.
That was 2 blue-black. Like this was just a 4 mana effect.
Yeah.
And it got cut down to 3. And like I don't know, like red black is not about taking turn 4 to like not put down a threat or
No, definitely not.
Deal with something on the board.
Deal with a potential threat later that may or may not be in your opponent's hand. Like, no, you care about what's in your opponent's hand.
Or you play a Chandra and you kill their thing.
Yeah.
Like that's the name of the game.
Yep.
Supreme Verdict is weird because of like what it did. And what I mean by that is the blue-white control decks had any number of 4 mana wraths that had like slight downside, right? Shatter the Sky, or what's the new one that cares about if you have multicolor? Yeah, Depopulate. There you go. So like Supreme Verdict is definitively better than those.
It's upside,
but
not
it's
downside.
just
It has upside, not downside.
Yes, but it was just like, here's a better version of the card you're playing in this slot already.
Yeah, but it's a card getting you closer to Pioneer.
Yeah, like in the like list of like top played cards in Pioneer, Supreme Verdict is on the list.
Yeah,
right.
Which is more than I can say for Slaughter Games.
Yes, I was gonna say, I don't know though if this spot would have been better used to like prop up another deck.
Probably.
And be like, you know what, we'll get to Supreme Verdict blue-white. Don't worry, but we want to use this slot to, again, not that I think they want like Lotus Field on Arena anytime soon.
Yeah.
But to like, you know, we could put in a couple cards in here that could have got like made Field some version of it.
I mean, maybe this is just for spirits though.
Yeah, exactly. It could just be like,
Yeah.
you guys can never beat spirits
Right.
because you have to tap 4 mana. So here's a way that you can tap 4 mana and beat spirits.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be it. But it just, it feels weird.
Yeah.
That it's just like, a lot of these were like, hey, you don't have this 1-drop for favorite hoplite. You don't have a 1-drop that does this.
Mm-hmm.
Red black, you don't have a Kalitas
Right. Something
like
to close the game
top
up.
end.
Yeah.
Right? Mono green or the green decks, you don't have Land of War Elves 5 through 8, so here's that.
Yeah.
Right?
Also potentially
And
let you play elves if they print some more that
Mhm.
are worth playing, a couple more lords.
I mean, I think in Historic you could probably play Elves.
In Historic, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not in Explorer, though, I don't think.
No. And then, like, Supreme Verdict is just like, yeah, this is just a strictly better thing that you have 2 other options of.
Right.
So, like, that felt weird. Like, I know
Yeah, it's a little
why
weird.
it needs to be there. But, like, if you're going to, like, put so much trash in this,
Mm-hmm.
you could at least, like, put trash to, like, target another, like, Pioneer, like, put another Pioneer-ish deck into Explorer, even if it's, like, some, like, powered down shell of itself.
Yeah. Now, we already kind of talked about Darksteel,
Mhm.
so I don't think we need to cover that one again. But the last card we have here is Hangerback Walker. I imagine that's for the same deck, the Scissors deck, but I don't... Does the Scissors deck even play Hangerback? That seems weird.
I saw someone playing a Hangerback Walker. It may have been in Scissors or it could have been in something else. And it's just so slow now.
Yeah.
Like, it is so unbelievably slow. So it's XX for a 0/0, and it comes in play with X +1/+1 counters.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can pay 1 and tap it and put a counter on it.
You know
and
what
then if
it
it
is,
dies,
though?
what?
It's another 0-drop for Song.
Oh, it is.
Yep.
It is. Is Song non-creature? Or just spell? It is just spell.
I think it's just spell.
Yeah. Like, I can get behind 0-drops for Song. But, like, it's just super slow.
Yeah.
For,
It is
again,
certainly
like,
not Walking Ballista.
yeah. I think I played against a, is, Hardened Scales on Arena?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
I played against, like, a Conclave Mentor Hardened Scales deck with Hangerback Walker. But since they, like, killed Ballista for Heliod Sins,
Yeah.
like, this is a, like, bad version of Ballista.
Yeah. Which
So,
is weird
like-
because, like, Hangerback was a thing before Ballista.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
But it was awesome from Magic Origins, and, like, that's the thing that we have to, like, calibrate ourselves to. Right? Like, Ballista is just a better Hangerback Walker.
Yeah.
I know they quote-unquote do different things.
Yeah,
But, like-
they fill the same slot in the decks that they're in,
Exactly.
though.
There are only so many slots in your deck for XX00s.
Yeah.
And Ballista was the better one.
Yeah. Yes,
And-
Hardened Scales is in Explorer.
Okay. So yeah, I played against like a Hardened Scales, like Conclave Mentor
Yeah.
deck that played Hangerback Walker. That's the only place I've seen it.
Yeah.
But
I
again,
don't
when I
think I've
switched to
seen
best
one
of
yet.
when I switched to best of 3, a lot of these like
The weird decks fell
cringier
off.
decks went away.
Yeah.
And it's basically red black. Some version of red black. They're all a little like they have the same core,
Mhm.
but then there's just like some cards around the edges that change.
Yeah.
Blue white, which I would be willing to guess that like 70 of the 75 cards in every blue white deck are exactly the same.
Mm-hmm. I would
And then
even venture more than that, probably.
yeah, it might just be 75 out of 75.
Yeah.
And then there's like the scissors deck.
Mhm.
And I've played against probably the next most popular deck is like somewhere like mono blue spirits, mono green is kind of like where things are. Like those are like the other, decks receiving votes.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the other stuff has gotten pushed out.
Mhm.
So I think overall they did a reasonable job of like they put like 3 or 4 of the 20 most important Pioneer cards that were missing
Yeah.
onto the client. And then some of them they were just like, whoopsie.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty good. I bought the Explorer like pack or whatever, the anthology.
Yeah, I have not. I think the only card I got was Rally right now.
Yeah. Well, I knew I would play Rally. I knew I would play Kalidas.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I would play Elvish Mystic. I knew I would try and put Tracker and Siege Rhino in a deck at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So I figure, like, just between those cards, like, I would have paid more money trying to get those cards than buying the $20
Fair.
pack. So
Fair. No, I agree. I agree. Like I have a reasonable enough wild card stockpile
yeah,
that like I just kind of like pick and choose
yeah. I don't.
what I
You
want.
definitely go a lot harder on the drafts than I do.
Yeah. Though I did see, gosh, I wish I would have like retweeted it. Person was like, I think I have a hoarding problem, and showed like their arena stuff.
Yeah.
They had 4 draft tokens. I forget, like we were in the neighborhood of the same number of rare and mythic wild cards.
Yeah.
They had 1,000,000 gold and 100,000 gems.
Wow.
I was like, dear God.
Yeah.
He's like, I might have a hoarding problem. Like, you think?
Yeah.
So like I think overall, like, this is probably like a C plus, B minus kind of like like anthology.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it's
it
like,
was fine. I wouldn't like.
yeah,
I
it's not
don't
like
think
A
I'd be
level.
no, but like if there was another one of this level, I don't think I'd be disappointed.
Yeah, I think I'd be like, okay, like
Yeah.
this kind of set the like baseline of like you're gonna get like 3 cards that like really truly matter.
Mm-hmm. And then some that you're probably gonna play for funsies, and then some that don't matter.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was now. I don't know if we can say the same for the historic anthology.
Well, a historic anthology is only 10 cards.
It says 20 at the top, but
well, yeah, 10 of them are all the
see,
same though.
Yes, I see what you mean. Yes. So we'll go through the historic anthology a little faster.
Yeah.
Since this is not we're not historic gamers really.
Not anymore. I mean, we used to be, like, back when that was the closest we could get to something that wasn't awful standard, but
yeah, when I was forcing myself to play decks with only Pioneer legal cards into like Modern Masters block constructed.
Right.
Yeah. Like, so here, I'm gonna play Modern Masters to Sealed. Okay. And you're gonna play not quite Pioneer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna win with my Modern Masters to Sealed deck.
Yes.
Dang it, you are. This sucks. Okay, fine. All
and
right.
Like, honestly, I don't know how much of this stuff even matters for historic. Like, I think of the 10 cards that aren't lands, I think most of them are there for Brawl. Like, I don't even think that they're meant to be played in the historic format.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Avacyn Angel of Hope is kind of exactly what I'm talking about. It's the
Brawl
first card in this. Yeah, you're playing that in Brawl. You're not playing that in historic. Can you imagine trying to cast or reanimate an 8-drop against a Dragon's Race Channeler? Like, you're going to lose that race.
Hey, but they made the Dragon's Race Channeler so it's only a 3/1.
Sure.
Instead of being a 3/3. So that makes it a lot better.
Yeah, a lot better.
Phyrexian Metamorph?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of cool.
I mean, it lets you, like, do Garuda stuff a little easier. Like, that's generally an interesting card, but
well, it's also like almost Phantasmal Image, right?
Mm-hmm. But it's not going to, like, it is not a card that is here for competitive historic play.
Probably not.
Has anyone in the last 15 years ever played Ophiomancer in a competitive deck?
Probably not, but it's also
I mean,
like only legacy legal, right? It was a
maybe.
commander card.
No, it's older than that.
Uh-uh.
I think.
No, it was in
I
the
think.
one of the first commander decks, I think.
Oh, like I thought it was.
Commander 2013.
Okay, I thought it was. Uh, I thought it was like an older card.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Yeah, no, the printing I know is from 2013. So yeah, okay.
So like I don't obviously it's in well, I take that back. I have seen this like in fringy legacy lists.
Yeah, like I think of it as a cube card.
Oh, it's definitely a cube card.
It is a cube card. And then Knight of Souls Betrayal. Like
I
we
mean,
have this on a body, right?
I paid a lot of money for my Knight of Souls betrayals.
I think so did I. I think I have some too. That it's like, yeah, we have this on a body now.
Yeah. For less mana, right? Isn't that a 3-drop, or maybe it is a 4-drop?
No, I thought he was. Is it Caravex
Yeah.
or
Maybe he is.
I think he's 2 black.
Yeah.
And then we've got like 2 like straight up cards from Commander, like Ghost Shintai of Life's Origin.
Yeah.
Is just the Commander card.
Right. Well, so's Layla.
Layla as well.
Yeah. I have seen some legacy lists with Lelia though, so I don't know.
So have I.
I don't know if there's something you can do with that.
Right, and then pouring out for the homie.
Yeah.
Tarmogoyf.
The mighty have fallen.
Yeah. So what was that thing that I sent? That Crokies tweeted. Like I thought Tarmogoyf was a boomer card. Oh God, it's so much worse.
Yeah.
Right, like. Tarmogoyf has a lot of text, but it just gives it power and toughness.
Yeah, it's just keyword big. And if you've been listening to the show for any length of time, I mean, going back like clear to the beginning, keyword big was becoming not as relevant, and it's just gotten worse over time.
Yeah, keyword big is just does not matter anymore.
Yeah.
I think Glimpse the Unthinkable might have a home.
Yeah, right? Like, it probably will.
There's like a blue-black mill deck kind of like if there are crabs, there will be a mill deck.
Mm-hmm.
And like Glimpse does a good job of like turning on your Drown on the Locks.
Right.
Right, like you hit someone with a Glimpse and then all your Drown on the Locks are like just A+.
Yep.
So I think it has a home literally like in only one deck.
Mm-hmm. I
guess you could try to like mill yourself and do some shenanigans, but
oh, that's true. I hadn't thought of that.
I guess you could be Esper Rally Glimpse. Mm-hmm. Glimpse Rally.
That's true.
Mill yourself with cast blue black, mill yourself, then get to white X.
Yeah.
To bring it all back. In a million billion years, I would have never guessed that the great minds at Wizard of the Coast would be like, yo, you know what Arena's missing? Chalice of the Void.
Yeah.
So, Chalice of the Void in digital, not the same experience as Chalice of the Void in paper.
No, definitely not. It plays completely differently, which is weird.
Different Magic card.
Yeah.
It has the same text, but works totally differently. So, Chalice of the Void is XX. You put X charge counters on it. When a player casts a spell with mana value equal to the number of charge counters on Chalice of the Void, counter that spell.
Mm-hmm.
So I know we've talked about the classic Galindo chalice check.
Yeah.
Of you either confidently play your 1 mana spell under their chalice for 1 and see if they catch it, or you sneak it in when you're like, cast this, go.
Yep.
And like the last card's a 1-drop that you shouldn't have been able to like cast, and they just were like, okay, thanks for passing me the turn. You don't get to do that in digital Magic.
No,
because the computer goes, no. And you also don't have the joy of like accidentally like of forgetting to trigger the chalice on your own 1-drops. And feeling the shame of that.
Right.
The client makes you feel the shame instantly.
It's
So,
also
like-
like not as oppressive without soul lands.
Yeah, or like any kind of fast mana.
Yeah.
So like it's weird. I don't know why they like. I don't know what problem it was like put in here to fix.
Dragon Rage
Unless-
Channeler, maybe?
I was gonna say like unless they were like, well, we need a way to deal with like Dragon Rage Chandler because well that was a mistake. We probably should put that card.
Yeah.
On here, but like it doesn't do enough. Being like you always have to wait till turn 2.
Mm-hmm. It's not the lock piece that it is in older formats with fast mana.
Yeah, and like the Dragon Rage Chandler decks are a lot of 1-drops.
Yeah.
But like it's not hard for them post board to like have access to artifact destruction
Mm-hmm.
or like, random bounce spell or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, I have 2 main deck Brazen Borrowers.
I wonder
I
if
can
this is
take care of
a
this.
plant for something to come, though. Like
Maybe?
if it's meant to be on 0 to stop some sort of free spell that's incoming.
Oh, we just put a Crash of Footfalls and
I mean, would it surprise
other-
you?
no, because they don't playtest anything.
Right.
But like I think I mentioned in the Discord that Chalice of the Void is banned in Brawl.
Yeah, thanks to patch notes, I guess.
It was in the patch notes that they banned Chalice in Brawl, and I don't know why.
No idea.
Like the only thing I can think is they have said that they don't like having cards legal in Brawl that just hose commanders
Well,
outright.
Curse of Silence is legal, and I scoop to it every time someone plays it against me.
What is Curse of Silence?
They, like, when it enters a battlefield, you pick a card name, and cards of that name cost more to cast or something. It basically hoses your commander.
Okay. Oh yeah, this thing.
Yeah, I scoop every time I see it.
Chosen name enchanted player costs 2 more to cast.
Yeah.
Okay. But like they don't have Pithing Needle or
Right.
Sorcerer's Spyglass. So like maybe like if you played a 1-drop or a 2-drop commander or something they could easily
Get caught on
get a Chalice on, then you're just like, oh, I can't ever play my commander again.
Yeah.
But like Chalice is was a fringy modern card when we had Simian Spirit Guide,
Mm-hmm.
and is like almost unplayable without Simian Spirit Guide,
Basically.
and like the best deck in historic or one of the best decks is just the modern deck
Mhm.
with better cards.
Yeah.
So like I don't know how Chalice stacks up, but it's just weird. Like part of Arena is it should be fun.
Mm-hmm. Here's
And
Chalice of the Void.
yeah, like Chalice of Void is
Not a
is
fun
like-
card.
not even like on the net fun. Like there's no fun being had. Neither
Digitally.
side has fun.
Well, I mean, I kind of enjoy the like mind game, like playing this.
Yeah,
card
but
in
you don't even
paper.
have that.
Right. Yeah.
And then we have Retrofitter Foundry.
Yeah, I kind of want to play with this. I don't know if
Yeah.
I feel like playing historic to play this. Maybe I'll just build a couple Brawl decks with it. But this is a cool card, legacy playable.
It's like $60.
Yeah.
Because it's like a commander card. So it does everything.
Yeah, it
So like
makes game objects and then turns them into other game objects.
yeah, like it gets played in Legacy because it's an Urza Saga target
Mhm.
that like you can win the game with.
Right.
Right? It's not like just getting like an exploration map. It's like no, get your win con.
Yep.
Oh, neat. Thanks. And then because reasons,
They
They
gave us
put-
all the bridges from Modern Horizons.
yeah.
Bunch
So
of indestructible artifact lands.
why like the artifact deck was already pretty good.
Maybe they're gonna
Right,
print
like-
Armageddon.
Hey, they are clearly not fans of people having fun.
Yokel
See
Hops.
Chalice. Yoko Hops. Hey, that had like a week or two of it like 5-0ing Magic Online leagues like not too long ago.
Yep.
I remember that card from like way back in the day.
Ice Age.
Makes me happy. Yes, makes me happy.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know why these are here. Like they're in this weird spot where they are too slow to be played if you're not getting affinity or like metalcraft type bonuses for artifacts. But there aren't a lot of those cards.
Mm-hmm.
So like here are these 5 lands that can literally only go into one deck.
Yeah.
Or here are these 10 lands that can
Really
like they could have
strange.
just printed the blue white one and been fine. Like, hey, we thought that what is that card? The Thopter thing that draws cards?
Thought Monitor.
Thought Monitor, yeah. Hey, we want the Thought Monitor deck to be better, but we don't want to just blatantly make it the Thought Monitor deck. So we're not gonna just give you the blue white one. I guess we have to give you all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not
So-
sure unless they're doing something like Foresight. There's something upcoming. Well, I mean, actually, we're gonna have a couple artifact sets, right?
Yeah. Which so Kaladesh was close to an artifact set, like an artifact block that didn't completely and totally break the game. But then they gave us Smuggler's Copter and
Energy.
what's his name? And what is it? 4 mana thing? Spin the
Aetherworks
wheel.
Marvel.
Aetherworks Marvel. I'm really good with names, right?
Yeah.
But like it was right, like they've never printed an artifact centric set that just wasn't busted.
Right. Mirrodin.
And
Busted.
Mirrodin busted.
Urza's Block. Busted.
Like both times we went to Mirrodin was busted, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Kaladesh was busted.
Mm-hmm.
Not for some of the artifacts were way too good.
Mhm.
Heart of Kirin, Smuggler's Captor, Marvel.
Yeah.
But it was busted because it had those really good artifacts. And oh yeah, here's this parasitic mechanic that is ridiculous
Right.
in energy. Right? So if I were them, I'd want to see like what happens to the artifact set out in the wild before I'm like, you know what we need to do?
Supercharge it.
Pump up this artifact set. Yeah.
Hey, just wait till I bring energy
Right, like-
back in Brothers War. I mean, you got to
And-
power
or
those
again-
mech suits somehow, right?
Yeah, Modern Horizons 3 will just have like we'll just have energy in it and just be like ridiculous.
Rogue Refiners a
So-
one drop. Hybrid
2,
green
3.
blue.
Hybrid green blue, 3/2, draw a card, make 2 energy.
Yep.
I don't know if we push this far enough.
Phyrexian hybrid green blue.
Okay,
The-
there we go. So
the-
you just pay 2 life.
And it gains you 2 life when it ETBs.
So it's fine.
Yep.
Fair, it's balanced. We balanced it. So I'm not thrilled with the prospects of like, okay, I don't play historic, so I can do whatever the hell you want.
Yep.
Right? It's not going to impact me. I've decided that that format is perpetually dumb.
Oh, I see
So-
what you did there.
You're welcome. But I'm not going to mess with it. So like break it all you want.
Mhm.
But it just seems like if I was like an entrenched historic player,
Yeah.
they gave me nothing.
Right.
Like nothing here moves the needle, makes like historic different or better.
I mean,
But I guess like
Retrofitter Foundry might have potential too.
okay, it could, but for the most part,
Yeah.
But I think that like part of your problem is like you've stuck all these Modern Horizons 2 cards in this format.
Mm-hmm.
They're better than everything else.
Right. So everything in that format has to be Modern Horizons 2 power level now.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't put a Tarmogoyf in when you've got the Star that like with the number of like land types you control that either rummages you or like exiles cards from graveyards.
Yeah.
Right? Like cool Tarmogoyf, you're a 2/3. My guy's a 3/3
Mm-hmm.
or a 4/4 and is going to like get rid of my 5th land in my hand and get me a spell.
Right.
Tarmogoyf's like, rah, I'm a 3/4 now. It's like, cool, you're still dead. You still can't block this. Or like Knight of Souls. What deck's making a bunch of 1/1s? We already have the like. Is it Illness in the Ranks?
Illness in the Ranks is on?
What was the? They printed it to try to like combat field. It's like creature tokens get -2, -2.
Oh yeah. I don't remember.
It's
what
from like.
is.
It's from like Fate Reforged or Cons, like somewhere in that area, or like, of that vintage. It's like we already have that card. Like, why do we need a 4-mana? Like, just play Languish. It gets all of them.
Right.
It doesn't get the one you play after the Languish, but it gets all of them, or like Ritual of Soot or something. Like,
it caught you up early.
Yeah. Like, and we all know that if Knight of Souls Betrayal was printed now, it would say creatures your opponents control.
Correct. For 4 mana, absolutely.
Yeah, it would probably draw you a card too, and like give you a shiatsu massage. But
count as two card types in your graveyard.
Exactly. Legendary artifact enchantment, something. It would be something else.
Yep.
It would get you delirium all by itself.
Yep.
It would say this card in your graveyard gives you delirium. Why?
Tribal artifact enchantment creature.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess I just feel like this is something that if you're a 60 card historic player, you don't care.
Yeah, I think most of this is for Brawl.
Which, like, amen that like people like playing historic Brawl.
I actually like historic Brawl. The fake cards don't show up nearly as often, and it's kind of a fun format.
Yeah, I mean, Friday, Saffron Olive put out a deck with he played Brawl because he wanted to play Go Shintai.
Yep.
So like, it's good that people have a place to like use their cards. That is like Brawl, but I'm assuming that no one plays like
actual historic
60 card historic.
Yeah, probably not.
Right, because if you wanted to play Hearthstone, you'd go play Hearthstone. And if you wanted to go play Magic, you'll play Standard or Explorer.
Probably Explorer.
Yep. All right, so there you go. Now, this is a collection of dusty old relics that like aren't playable anymore.
Yeah.
Knight of Souls Betrayal, Tarmogoyf.
No.
Ophiomancer. Like, there's a lot here, but like Avacyn is like a Brawl card. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm sure they have the data, and I'm sure that they think that this selection of cards appeals to the most people who like deal in historic.
Yeah.
But that might just be that the majority of people who play historic play Brawl.
Could very well be.
So, all right, like with all of this, unless you have some like sweet anthology thoughts, I think we have a show.
I think we have a show.
All right, so if you have any mailbag questions for us, let us know. We have our social media links in the description below, so you can check all those out and get in touch with us, and we can answer some questions. We're going to do that here in the next couple weeks because Spoilers is going to start soon.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So yeah,
So,
get us your questions so
soon,
we can
soon.
answer them sooner rather than later. Like Brian said, links in the description. Any place you want to contact us, feel free. We would appreciate if you enjoy listening to us talk every week, that you please consider supporting the show. 2 ways to do it: TCG Player affiliate link, tcg.casualtryhardmtg.com. Head over there. Anything you purchase, we'll get a percentage of to help keep the show going. We know you're going to purchase stuff anyway, so just use TCG Player and help us out. Also, patreon.com/casualtryhardmtg. If you want to give us a couple bucks directly, we would greatly appreciate it. Patrons get access to our show notes. They also get access to another whole show of ours every week. You get to listen to more of us.
Yeah.
And you also get put on my mailing list, which sometime towards the end of this month I will get out to patrons, I promise. If you want to get put on the list, sign up for Patreon and shoot me your address, and I'll add you to my list. Like Brian said, mailbag episode. We need questions, so make sure you send those over. And we're going to try the tournament one more time. Peasant Brawl Standard, Saturday, August 27th at 8 p.m. I have to actually make the event, so I got to remember to do that. Make the event.
And I'll put it in the description.
Yeah.
So it's easy to get to.
Yep. And
all right.
I don't have anything else.
Neither do I. So with that, we'll catch you on the internet.
We'll catch you on the internet.